Welcome to episode 186 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe, co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And we're in the home stretch of Justice League here. We got our one random one-off episode, the holiday special.
Yeah, hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas in March.
It feels wrong.
Because there is two ways to approach doing this. Like our way of doing it all in order, and then like the DCU review, they kind of pick pieces here and there. Works great for them because they can do stuff seasonally.
Right.
Whereas for us, I don't think we've yet to have a holiday episode around the holidays.
Not even close.
No. No. Which, you know what? I think that fits in cartoons. They'll just randomly decide to put a cartoon holiday episode out in like October.
Well, I mean, they'll try. They'll try for the same seasons
Sometimes.
but I think the competition of being the first to like kick off the holidays gotten so extreme that that's when we get like, you know, Halloween episodes at the end of July, Christmas episodes the day before Halloween.
I saw something from a friend recently. The idea was to turn Valentine's Day into winter Halloween. Just do Halloween again in February.
I'm so down.
Yeah.
Can we push it? Can we push it to March though? Because like I feel like February is still too cold.
I mean, not in LA.
I mean, obviously not here.
Wait, you want to replace St. Patrick's Day with?
I do.
a
That
second
would be the
Halloween?
perfect one. I mean, people do already dress up for St. Patty's Day.
That's true. I mean, have you actually? When was the last time you properly celebrated St. Patrick's Day?
I don't think I ever have.
Oh, okay. I used to in like college and after college when I hung out with bigger drinkers than I do now.
Yeah.
You know, we do like the full St. Patrick's Day party. It's kind of disappointing I don't really do it anymore because I still have a shirt that says "Kiss Me, I'm a Lord."
That's good. And you are now officially a lord.
That's true. I'm Lord.
Yeah.
So, as if my ego needed that boost. Thank you,
own that
Cameron.
1 square foot of
1
land.
square foot of land. But yeah, maybe I'll wear that. Maybe I'll wear that to the office.
You should.
Actually, I think I will.
Yeah.
Because I am just that kind of pretentious. But no, we're not here to do a St. Patrick's Day episode. We're here for a holiday episode, the great comfort and joy.
Yes.
So I will ask a follow-up question to this towards the end, but just as initial pass, as a Justice League episode, Cameron, how did you feel about some comfort and joy here?
I loved this episode.
Oh, you did? Okay.
This is so much fun.
It's really cute, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it just warms the cockles of your heart.
Yeah. It's broken into 3 stories, and all 3 of them, you know, I don't think they're equally as good. You know, I think a few are better than the Green Lantern story.
Not to name any specific ones.
Yeah, it's still fun. It's still in character. But yeah, I mean, I would put this up with like some of the better Christmas episodes because we talked about it years ago now when we did our bonus episode.
Yeah.
And I think you brought this episode up.
Probably did.
Because I had not seen it
Right,
at the time.
Of course.
But no, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'll probably put in my rotation for
your holiday episodes.
For holiday episodes, yeah.
I think it's worth including. Like when I watched this again, 'cause I may have seen it since it aired, but I know I watched it when it aired. Well, again, almost 20 years ago. But I feel like this is a precursor to JLU in some ways. Like I can almost see them when they're trying to figure out what to do after Starcrossed going, well, hey, like what if we did more stuff like Comfort and Joy? It's just one episode. It's short, concise storytelling.
Personal storytelling.
Yeah, like this feels like the precursor to those sort of stories. It's just like really sweet and self-contained and fun and different, especially than like the big epic episodes we've been getting of late. Like a perfect palate cleanser between Wild Cards and then, which we'll get to next week, Starcrossed.
Yes.
So I know only one more week of me constantly mentioning Starcrossed.
I'm ready to get it over with.
Although I bet I can find ways to bring it up when we get to JLU.
I'm sure you can.
It's callbacks.
Well, because if I remember correctly, when we first see Hawkgirl come back, everyone is still pretty jaded towards her.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's the GL Vixen love triangle.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we will be doing our Shortlist today, in which case I'll be making a claim that though we haven't actually covered the episode yet, it's probably the most canonically critical of all.
I'm probably going to say no.
You haven't seen it. How do you know? You have to take my word.
I mean, the story makes sense so far. So per our rules of what is necessary.
That's true.
I still understand everything.
Yeah.
So technically it's not necessary yet.
Oh, we'll get into it. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the meat of comfort and joy here.
Okay, do you want to break it up into each story to make it easier?
Yeah, sure. So which one do you want to do first?
Let's do Hot Girl GL
Okay,
just to knock it out.
sure. Yeah, so I mean, the whole thing starts with them, the majority of the league, I think sans Batman and Wonder Woman, out on some snow planet, basically trying to stop a moon from colliding with a bunch of weird little squid things. And that all goes to plan like very, very quickly, no hiccups or anything like that. And then everyone decides, all right, we're going to head back into Javelin and I'll start our holiday break. And GL's like, I'm going to just chill here and see what's going on. And Hot Girl stays behind because they're now, I don't know if I would call it officially yet, but they are absolutely dating now.
Yes.
Even if maybe the rest of the league doesn't know it yet. But yeah, so they stay on the moon and they start off with a nice, adorable little snowball fight.
It's very cute and a lot of great constructs.
I was going to say.
I caught them for this time. We got the snowboard.
Mm-hmm.
We got the army of hands.
I loved the little army of hands. Yeah.
The catapults.
Mm-hmm.
This was like just genuine fun. This half of the story I loved.
So you didn't love it so much when they went off to go to Space Cheers?
Not as, I mean, that part I thought was fun. Space Cheers is great.
Okay.
When it just turned into like a Valhallan brawl.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, now I'm kind of over. I wanted like one more thing to happen. I didn't want it to just end with them passed out in the middle of the fight.
I mean, it's fun. What else would you have wanted them to do other than have a nice big space brawl?
I don't know. That's what I've been trying to figure out. Because like it's very in character for her.
Yeah, because that's the whole idea. Is like John's idea of having fun is very old fashioned, having a snowball fight. He tells a story about how his grandma used to take him to the snow every year, and even when he's on the snowboard, it's the first time we see him being kind of a kid.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most just jubilant he's been yet, just like carefree and fun. And Hot Girl's even like, you fly around the galaxy. Why is this fun for you? You're literally just like sliding on snow.
Yeah, and then he makes the snow angel.
Yes.
He's like, look, I have wings.
See?
Yeah.
He can make constructs.
He can, just in snow.
In the snow. But yeah, it's like, that's his idea of fun. And then her idea of fun is like, all right, come with me. We're going to head to this like seedy dive in the corner of the galaxy.
Yeah.
And she walks in. I think she even like says a line from Cheers. Like, that's the total vibe of like, everyone knows your name. She walks in and everyone knows Shaira.
Yeah. Because that's Naz, I think was the bartender.
Yeah. Serving up some weird, disgusting looking pink slop.
Yeah, with worms in it.
Worms.
I mean, she is a technically part bird, so that does make sense.
She's a bird person. Yeah.
There is the like, and I know people are tired of me bringing this up, and by that I mean you are tired of me bringing this up. But I mean, this is kind of like an outlaw bar from the look of it, and especially how people brawl in it.
Yeah.
So, being a Green Lantern walking in,
Oh my God,
would they're space cops.
yes.
He probably wouldn't be allowed in, and two, he should have some sort of disguise. Just pull the trench coat back out. That's all you need. Just something that's not bright green.
Look, I agree with you that John maybe is not the most effective at patrolling space.
Yes.
From any number of threats. I will say, however, that it's a pretty well-trodden trope. Try saying that 3 times fast. That cops love to go into bars.
Yes, but there should be a sense of like tension with everyone else.
But maybe other Green Lanterns are regulars at that bar too.
Maybe Guy is.
You know what? Guy or Kilowog.
Oh yeah, if it's Kilowog, there's no problem.
Yeah,
here.
that's Kilowog's people right there. Like,
yeah.
Fun, carefree, having a good old time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll throw a few punches around, then we'll buy each other a beer afterwards.
Exactly. Like, they may have been a moment of hesitation when they saw a Green Lantern walk in. It's like, you know what? We know Kilowog.
Maybe that's the button that I think I would have liked at the end is like you see everyone on the ground and like John and Shire are like cleaning up the bar a little bit.
Yeah.
And like the one guy that comes in, or the one guy they start beating up, like John buys him a drink.
Okay.
Like that's the nice little button.
I see what you're going for. I kind of like the button they chose, which is, John's passed out and just Hot Girl gives him a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, that's the more romantic ending.
Right. Because again, at this point, they're very much
cuddled also with the guy that they beat up.
I mean, they're all friends now.
I guess so.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the show is trying to really emphasize that relationship because it's going to matter a lot when we get to Starcrossed.
Yeah.
So
I've heard.
So you've heard. But yeah, I think I agree with you though that it's fun, but it's a little, maybe a little bit easy of storytelling. Like the character moments there are nice, but it's not necessarily giving us something weird and fun and different, which I think stands in contrast to the other two stories.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to hit next then?
Let's do Superman, Martian Manhunter.
Superman. Okay, yeah.
Let's
so
save Flash for last.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But yeah, Superman's heading back home to Kansas, and he insists that Jean come with him. Like, we're not going to leave you behind. Batman begged to have monitor duty on Christmas. No surprise there. Which, that's actually interesting, because the only other time...
Yeah, because we know what he does on Christmas.
Yeah, he watches... Well, no, Robin made him watch It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
And then...
I'm sure he still does, though. Just, like, in honor of.
Yeah, I think so.
But now he's on the big monitor. Maybe he just uses it for the big monitor.
That's true. He just does it. He wants a really, really big monitor because it's bigger than the Batcave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one.
Because wait, you also watched It's a Wonderful Life this last year, right?
The first half.
You didn't watch all of it?
No.
Oh my god, man! The ending, even though you know it's coming, it still made me cry.
Right.
It's really touching. It's really beautiful.
I was in a very emotionally corrupted space.
Fair enough.
When that was over the Christmas season.
Very fair. Yeah, I don't see Bruce watching that for the warm-hearted element of it. I can see him watching it because of just what a dick the Lionel Barrymore character is, the moneylender or whatever.
I'm a better billionaire than
Well, that's
he
exactly
is.
it. Like, that's a bad billionaire. He's making people's lives worse. I make people's lives better by beating up random people who have no opportunities other than to work in crime.
Or the other thought, because the few things that I do remember about it, maybe he wants to be the star.
He wants to be
the angel.
Oh,
because the two stars talking to each other, telling the story.
Oh my god, that's right.
So
I thought you...
No, not the star of the show.
I thought you meant Jimmy Stewart.
No,
Bruce Wayne just really wants to be Jimmy Stewart. Well, yeah. I'm Batman.
I would love and hate. No, yeah, I think he is kind of the star in the sky.
Because the bat signal? I don't know where you're going with it.
No, because he's up in space and he's looking down at the people.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah,
he gets to tell the story.
Yeah, so he wants his monitor duty. So Clark brings Jean with him back to Kansas, and I love the moment when he shows up and Martha and Jonathan look at Jean. And you're like, what are they gonna say? And in fact, they just like give him a big hug. It's like, oh, you're welcome. We're used to weird things around here.
Yeah, you're not the first alien walking through these doors.
Come on in. It's really, really cute to see like Clark at the table with his parents, with Jean, and they're all laughing and having like a nice, sweet little time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I know you want to talk about the fact that Superman still believes in Santa Claus.
I love that little note. That is so sweet, and we're gonna go into that at the end of this episode.
Okay.
Because I have some fun stories about specifically Superman and Santa Claus.
Oh, good.
But no, I mean, with that, there's another little moment that they didn't need, but I think I would have liked is like as they land at the Kent's front porch, like if John starts to transform into his human self.
Oh, okay.
And Clark is like, oh no, you didn't need to do that. Yeah.
We're used to this around here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think it's sweeter that it comes from the parents and not from him.
Yeah. That, like, again, best parents.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Them and Pops.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's only 3 good parents in the
entirety.
The
ones that are still living.
I know. But they're so sweet. I do love that. It's like, oh yeah, we used to have to wrap Clark's presents in lead foil so he couldn't tell what they were. It's like, well, you mean
Santa?
Santa wrapped them
in lead foil.
Now, I love how much of a kid Clark gets to be in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we're even talking about this maybe recently, that this is the one place where he doesn't have to have his true, this is his true persona, in the same way that, Bruce is truly himself in the Batcave with Alfred. This is the only place where, like, Clark is Kal-El. He's not putting on the Clark Kent persona. He's not putting on the Superman persona. He's just himself. And it's cute to see him kind of loosen up and unwind. However, did you find his childishness here to be just a little bit out of character?
No, because this is the like idealized Christmas.
Okay.
And so I was almost like jealous of his childishness. Like,
okay.
that's what you imagine being the perfect Christmas, is going home and you still get to be a kid again.
Yeah.
Your parents are making your favorite food and you still have presents under the tree and you don't know what they are. Because I feel like that, I don't know how you feel about modern Christmas, but like I send my parents an Amazon wish list.
Yeah, same.
And I know exactly what I'm getting from the list because, I love them, but they are not creative enough to pull from anything that's not on the list.
Right. Yeah. There's no surprises
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah. And especially now it's like, can I have money for a new phone?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, can you replace my tires for me?
Right. Although, I mean, okay.
I would love if they replaced my tires
It
for
would
me.
be fantastic. Okay. I'm allowing this tangent here. I'm encouraging this tangent. What was the last surprise Christmas present you got from your family?
It's the bad surprise, and it's the one that I've shared with you and a few other people. My mom got me a horrible How to Approach Women book.
I somehow forget about that, and then every time you bring it up, it just brings me so much joy.
Centered on my bookshelf as a constant reminder of the scorn that I feel for my mother after that.
Wait, did you put it center on your bookshelf to remind her, or does she have it center on the bookshelf to remind you?
Okay. It is this horrible book from the early 2000s about how to talk to women.
Yeah.
And it's so horrible and outdated. And it can't be more than like 45 pages.
Yeah.
It's so it's like each chapter is like 2 pages.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how to approach women at a bookstore, how to approach women when you're grocery shopping.
And it's all earnest, right? It's not it's not parody.
It feels parody now,
okay.
But it is true earnest, and it's so bad the author has not put their name on it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, because I think the last one I can remember is a few years ago. My brother got me the British Bulldog from Skyfall.
Okay.
The one that's sitting on my desk now.
Is it a bobblehead?
No, it's not a bobblehead, but in Skyfall, M has this British Bulldog on her desk, and then after the office blows up, she has it again. Bond makes the comment, but the whole bloody office goes up, and that thing survives.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know it was a thing. And so I opened it on Christmas, I'm like, what is this? Like, oh my God, it's the Bulldog. It's to this day one of my all-time favorite presents. It's always on my desk. I've kept the box, so when I have to move it, it is in the safest possible hands.
Good.
But it's just like, I love it so much.
Yeah. And I've been trying really hard for the past maybe year and a half or so to like find presents that are incredibly unexpected.
Yes.
Like your lordship title.
Love it.
Is such a great go-to present for anyone. And I recommend it if you have someone that you're not sure what to get them.
Yeah.
No one will say no to an actual lordship title.
Exactly.
It's $60 online.
For the Lord in your life who has everything else.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I was very pleased with myself this year because I got my dad the only model that existed of the Star Trek Enterprise ship from Discovery. So the newest version of it, which is like a really cool take on this design. I was like so excited there was one that existed. And it arrived a little bit late, but when I was still home and be able to hand it off to him, I was like, yes,
that's
so
good.
Felt so good. But yeah, we don't actually get to see what Clark gets for Christmas, though, do we?
I do have one quick question for you,
mm-hmm.
just because it is in our nerd space.
Okay.
And these are, I feel like, have become the 2 go-to presents for the past few years. Do you prefer socks or Funkos?
Socks.
Okay, same.
Yeah. I mean, I was about to say I don't have that many Funkos, but we're sitting next to my bookcase.
1, 2, 3.
That has...
Well, I guess those are Legos. Those aren't Funkos. You have more Legos than...
No, wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 Funkos on...
Including the ones in the boxes?
There are 15 Funkos. I've never bought a Funko. These have all been gifts.
I've bought 2.
Okay.
And I probably have about 25.
Yeah. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
That's why I avoid the Funkos if I can, which I much prefer socks, especially last year when I was still working at the agency because I had to dress professionally all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like my one little bit of personality is that I would wear fun, cool socks.
Right.
Like I would show up to work in like my pinstripe blue 3-piece suit, but I'd be wearing blue socks with TIE fighters and X-Wings on them.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think right now, in the current situation, I prefer Funkos.
Right.
Because I have nowhere to wear socks.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
When do you wear socks?
Yeah, I have wonderful Pain and Panic socks that I just want.
Oh, that's right.
I'm so ready for my first day back at Disney.
I feel like the only place you wear those now is when you come here to play villainous with me.
Yeah, it is.
Which is very much appreciated. But yeah, hey, you know what? I actually would love people to answer that question. Write in and let us know at Tim Talk Pod. Are you sock people or Funko people?
Yes.
Yes.
And also, what is your favorite unexpected Christmas gift?
Yes, I would actually
Given or received?
Yes, would love to hear those answers. But yeah, we don't get a chance to see what Clark actually gets.
Even though he tries, which I appreciated, we got that little shot.
He still tries to look through it. But my favorite thing I think about this whole thing, because John goes on a kind of a little just jaunt around Smallville to kind of see different things. So he sees people kind of out walking around the streets and holiday spirit. He stops by a church. They're singing carols. My favorite though is he overhears a little girl like upset because her brother claims that Santa's not real, and so he pretends to be Santa by walking on the roof and then grabbing a cookie from the chimney. Did you catch what he grabs?
No.
An Oreo.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I did see it was an Oreo.
Yeah, because famously in the comics, Jean loves Oreos.
As he should.
They're great.
I don't know who doesn't.
Monsters.
Probably Joker.
Actually, no, Joker would love them because if he takes the half off of one of it, it's like his face. It's pale like his face. He can make a little Joker smile in there. He can etch in Joker toxin in the shape of a smile, put the cookie back, and hand it to someone and poison them.
And you know he has.
Absolutely. Frequently. Especially around the holidays.
Yeah.
But no, I think that it's a cute little thing there, going up to Smallville and have a nice little Christmas together.
And then ends with the family waking up to hear John singing a Christmas carol in Martian.
Yeah. Petting the cat who previously was kind of freaked out by him.
Mm-hmm. Streaky,
yeah. I also love, too, that they do address where Kara is, because Clark asks, oh, where's Kara? And she's off skiing with Barbara. And it just made me happy to know the two of them still hang out all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's the other side story that I want.
Yeah. Like, even when we were watching Hereafter, when we're at the funeral for Superman, for a moment I thought it was Kara and Barbara next to her comforting Jonathan and Martha, but it's of course Lana, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
But I love them being like super best friends.
Yeah. It like, obviously brings up memories of that one episode. Just is it Girls Night Out?
Girls Night Out, which is still one of the best of all the episodes.
Yeah, but it also reminds me of the X-Men Evolution episode.
Oh yeah.
Where both hero and villain women team up in high school and make like their own biker gang.
Yeah. They become like the Female Furies or something like that. And they even have the shopping montage.
Yes. It's so good. That is one of the best episodes of X-Men Evolution.
That show is so good.
It really is.
Oh, man. If we didn't have Titan stock.
We knew both.
Yes. But I know the story you want to talk about most, of course, is the Flashes.
It's like quintessentially Flash.
Yeah. So walk us through what happens in Flash as part of this little triptych.
Yes. So we open at an orphanage while they're waiting for, some character in red to come and visit. They're trying to lead it to be Santa. And of course, in comes Flash, which is just wonderful. I guess he does this every year. And he asks them what they want for Christmas. He's going to go get them a present. And they turn on this horrible, awful, like perfect example of early 2000s merchandise of a rapping duck.
Yep.
Called DJ Quacks.
Thank you. I was about to look it up. DJ Quacks. Yep. It's so good.
Who's been sold out for months. So, kind of jumping on the Furby craze.
Exactly. I mean, basically, this is Flash's version of Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Which is
delightful. It absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah. Where the Ultra Humanite plays Sinbad.
Yes. So Flash is running around store to store trying to find this toy. It's sold out everywhere. And then he realizes, like, oh, I can just go to the manufacturer. And I don't know if you thought this. I definitely thought he was going to run to the North Pole.
I got at a moment, too, where I was like,
does he have, like, connections with Santa?
Or go to the North Pole? But, yeah.
But I appreciate that he ran to the manufacturer's office in Japan.
Yeah.
And like, oh, this is our last one we've made for the season. So on his way back to the orphanage, he notices the museum is being robbed or broken into, and it's Ultra Humanite doing his Ultra Humanite thing. This museum is not cultured enough for people, so he's destroying everything. It's
maybe the most random villain motivation we've had in the entire series, and might be my favorite.
This whole thing is so campy, but so perfect for Flash.
Yeah, exactly.
And so in the midst of the fight to try and stop Ultra Humanite, he falls and breaks the toy. And Flash gives this great monologue of like, that's for the kids. Like, how dare you? That's the Christmas spirit you just broke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you have no heart? And Ultrahumanite, in his moment of weakness, knocks out Flash. And he comes to find Ultrahumanite remaking the toy and making it better, as he says.
Yeah.
And Flash is obviously worried, understandably, that he's putting a bomb inside the toy that he's about to give to an orphanage. But no, just as bad and just as wonderful. Instead, he replaces the rapping duck with himself reading Dan to the Sugar Plum Fairy from Nutcracker.
It's such a sweet exchange between those two. And you believe the Ultrahumanite would do that.
Yeah, just for Flash.
Yeah.
No one else.
No. Because Flash does have that kind of unique relationship with some of his villains, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see it again, especially with the Trickster in JLU.
Yeah, the best moment.
Yeah. But he genuinely cares. Like, Batman does make an effort to try and find ways to redeem his villains. He was successful once. Otherwise very unsuccessful. But he has a different way of approaching it. The Flash just like actually does it like by wearing his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah, and the villains I think see that genuineness.
Yeah.
And some take advantage of it and some kind of fall privy to it.
Yeah. Because you kind of feel like the Flash's rogues gallery, particularly in this universe, are maybe not that evil or that lethal. There's a bit more of an idea of it being just kind of a game to all of them, which the Flash encourages to some degree. Like, he's obviously doing it to do the right thing, but he has fun while he does it.
Right.
So he gets the fun villains.
Yeah. And, we talked about this a lot in BTOS, where Batman's villains never really start off as villains. They're doing their own thing, and then Batman just interrupts them.
Yeah.
Obviously, Scarecrow is bad.
Yeah.
Riddler's pretty bad.
Penguins.
Yeah. So really just Mr. Freeze I'm getting at.
It's just that one.
Yeah, just the one. And obviously, like, Ventriloquist isn't horrible. He's just has some mental problems.
Yeah, but he gets a happy ending.
Yeah. I mean, Poison Ivy's not a villain.
That's true.
She's an environmentalist, as she repeatedly says in the Harley Quinn show.
Yeah. And it's funny, too, because in the DCAU, sometimes she is actually trying to, like, commit crimes. Like, the first time we meet her, she's trying to kill Harvey Dent.
Right.
In Pretty Poison. And I think later on then, like, with the, with Chemistry, I think she's trying to, like, rob all the rich people by killing off like making the fake spouses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she commit crimes. I'm glad that at this point now, like, pretty much across all of DC Comics, just like, no, she's just an environmentalist trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. She's Al Gore's running mate.
She
That's
is.
the problem. That's the comic I want to see. Is like they remake Batman and Robin, the correct one, and instead of Bane being her lackey, they camera pans and it's just Al Gore playing her Oracle.
I would watch it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Al Gore might do it.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty damn good sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his appearances in Futurama are some of my all-time favorites.
They're so good.
Yeah. This could destroy the universe. As an environmentalist, I'm against that. Oh, it's so good. But like this episode, just like, it is so sweet and so heartwarming and just such a nice little breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Like, the stakes aren't high. It's all really pleasant and lovely. Like, no one's really being a villain. The only villain's Ultrahumanite. And, he does the right thing at the end.
Right. And because of that, he gets a nice little Christmas tree in his
He
cell.
does. Yeah. Like, Flash comes back and gives him, like, a nice, like, a foil Christmas tree and a little light.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like, too, is that he alludes to a past. He's like, oh, like, I also loved Christmas when I was, and he kind of lets it go there. And I kind of love they don't actually fully explain. They just give us a sense of, like, maybe wasn't always this way.
Yeah. Yeah, because all heroes were normal people. Or, all villains were normal at one point.
Yeah. Ish.
Yeah, I mean, Harvey is my big example.
Yeah. I mean, they usually have something that's kind of, like, tipping them.
Yeah, the third personality.
Tipping the scales a little bit. But yeah, it's just really cute.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I like there's actually not that much to say on it.
I know, I wish we had more of these.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot. I don't want, like, a season of it. But,
Yeah.
like, sprinkling in one per season is, like, the perfect, palette cleanser.
Yeah.
For what I assume Star-Crossed is going to destroy.
Not so much destroy. It's just, Starcross is going to be, like, the epitome of big blockbuster style Justice League episodes.
Okay, so like the Snyderverse.
No, better than that.
How?
I know what a
I
crazy
don't
thought.
understand.
Something can be better than what Zack Snyder gives us.
One more week, man.
Oh God. Oh.
4 hours of pure hell.
I just can't with it. I can't. But no, this is really cute. Now you had some other holiday DC stories that you wanted to bring up,
Yes,
right?
in to carry on the spirit of winter Christmas, of spring Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
spring Halloween. I've pulled a few great Christmas stories that have
Okay.
existed in comics over the years, because of course, they still have to celebrate Christmas within comics. So the 3 I picked, one is called "The Man Who Hated Christmas."
Beautiful. Is it about Batman?
It's a Superman story. Funny enough,
Does he hate Christmas?
no,
Okay.
there's a villain named the Jasper Rasper.
Oh, come on. What year was this written?
Action Comics 105. So I'm gonna guess mid 60s, 50s, 60s would be my guess.
Yeah, that fits. Yeah.
Maybe that's not even. It's not even the. I think his name is just Jasper Rasper. As a man who hated Christmas so much, quote, he said if quote, if he could kill Christmas, he would. He enacts a scheme against Santa, hoping to destroy the holiday season. So what Jasper does, he flies to the North Pole and gives infected chocolate to Santa in order to make him gain so much weight he can't fly around the world.
Oh my God.
But don't worry, because Clark Kent was doing a story on Jasper Rasper, and he realized this plot was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to help, he created an unorthodox workout regime to help
Oh my God.
to help Santa lose enough weight in order to fit on the sled and fit through the chimneys.
What did the workout routine entail?
Dangling him from a bridge,
Oh, okay.
forcing him to dance with costumed women while Superman watches,
Oh my God.
and terrifying Santa with the horrors of space.
That's worse than I thought it was going to be. I assumed it was going to be, like very 60s workout montage of just like Santa standing on one of those like electric lap belt things that shakes your belly.
Yes. I think it even predates that.
Oh my God.
And instead of arresting Jasper, Jasper sees how much work Superman is putting into saving Christmas, and he has a change of heart.
Aw.
And then he loves the holiday season.
Isn't that sweet?
Isn't that just a beautiful story?
He just watches Superman be an even bigger asshole than he is.
Yes.
Changes his ways.
The next one, it is connected to this universe. It's from the Batman animated comics.
Oh, okay.
Batman Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Paul Dini and illustrated by Ronnie Del Carmen.
Okay.
It is a story that follows Harley and Ivy doing their antics over Christmas weekend.
Love it.
And they're trying to figure out how to have the best Christmas. And what they realize is they don't have the money for it. But who does have the money for it? Mr. Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
And so they brainwash Bruce into being their like private Santa, and they go to a mall and have him buy everything for them.
Yeah.
Until the brainwash poison kind of wears off. Then of course, Bruce disappears and Batman comes in, knocks them out, arrests them. And it's a happy Christmas in the end.
Is there like a happy little button where he brings them like a little Christmas tree in Arkham?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Also, I guess that wouldn't really be a happy...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. He doesn't beat them up.
Okay.
What ensues is a shopping spree extravaganza. The two force Bruce to buy them anything they want. Of course, the fun comes to an end once Bruce escapes and changes to Batman and ends up giving Harley what she wanted all along, a Christmas tree.
Aw.
Yeah. So you were right, yeah.
Yeah, well, because I've imagined that Poison Ivy wouldn't really want a Christmas tree.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe like a seed.
It's a chopped down tree.
Yeah. An evergreen seed.
Yeah. I've read this comic. This wasn't adapted into an episode of Batman, was it?
Well, I mean, it feels like it would have been, because there is the Harley Ivy.
I think
there's
it just
the 2 Harley Ivy one-offs.
Yeah, I think it just feels reminiscent of pieces of those episodes, because there's is it Harley's holiday when she tries to go straight and goes on like the shopping spree and like Bruce buys the coat for her.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I forgot. Maybe that is the one. I think she does brainwash Bruce there.
No, I don't think so. I think she kidnaps him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then as a reward, because she does actually buy the coat, but they forgot to take the tag off of it, and so they think she's trying to steal, and so she freaks out and kidnaps Bruce, and then eventually he realizes that she was doing the right thing, and so he gives her the coat. So I think I'm just maybe conflating that with the Holly and Ivy appearance in Holiday Nights. Plus, I think I actually have read that comic at some point because it does sound very familiar.
Yeah, and it is a Paul Dini story, so it
Yeah.
makes sense that they all kind of fit.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah, sweet.
It is sweet.
But then the last one, and this is, I want to find this. It's only a 2-page comic.
Okay.
It's called Present Tense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2-page story by Ty Templeton in the 1998 DC Holiday Bash,
Okay.
which pits 2 heavy hitters against one another. Darkseid versus Santa Claus.
Oh my God. Yes.
And we learned that every year Santa goes to Apocalypse to give Darkseid his present, and Darkseid does his best Bowser impersonation and booby traps the entire planet to stop Santa from getting to him in order to leave him his yearly drop of coal.
That is so cheesy. I absolutely love it.
It's so I had there. It has to be online. It's
Yeah.
only 2 pages.
Yeah.
But that just sounds like the best story I could ever imagine for Christmas.
That is another one too that I could see being adapted as an animated short with no dialogue, all done to the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies as you see Santa
Yes.
like dance around and like set off all these booby traps.
I feel like it could be like in Teen Titans Go.
Okay, yeah, it would fit in that universe very well.
Either Darkseid, or you could even replace it with Trigon to fit.
Yeah,
It's the same story.
it's the same. That's really cute.
It's so good. Like, applause to you, Ty Templeton. I've never heard of you before, but now
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Oh, he animated, or not animated, but he drew a lot of the Batman Adventures comics that came out
Okay.
back in the day. I mean, he was kind of the one of the go-to comic artists that could emulate the Bruce Timm style. And he works on the Adventures Continues comics. I know as an artist, and I think maybe as also a co-writer on it. I'm not 100% certain. I think maybe he's just the artist on it. But yeah, and he's kind of like one of the unsung heroes of the DCAU because he didn't necessarily do a lot of stuff for the show, I don't think. But yeah, he was involved in a lot of the comic tie-ins that came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. And he wrote it too?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because that's the thing too, is that every once in a while artists will get a chance to write their own kind of one-off issues to show their stuff. So that's a great idea. I love that. I'm going to track that down.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So I have to ask you, being the TV, especially animated TV holiday episode expert, where does this fall for you amongst a pantheon of holiday episodes?
Oh, it's good. Oh man, do I still have my list from years ago?
I mean, you don't actually have to put it in a ranking. I mean, you did say up at the top that you would include it in an annual rotation, but would you put it up there towards one of your favorites, or?
I would. I do still have my list. Funny enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I would knock out my number 10 for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's number 10? What's getting knocked out?
It was a short called Super Santa.
Okay. Nah, that sounds
Yeah,
dumb.
and it was a Ren and Stimpy style comic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is better. Throw that in
Yeah,
there.
it fits up there with like Recess and SpongeBob and Powerpuff Girls.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, Arnold.
No, Hey Arnold's number 1.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's a great episode.
It's up there with that. Yeah.
It's a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, this is super cute. I really, really like this. And it makes me excited to be progressing forward into Justice League Unlimited. We're going to get more kind of fun episodes like this.
Yeah.
So like, This Little Piggy and stuff like that.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited.
Season 1.
Is that in season 1?
It is season 1.
Wow. I guess there's only 2 seasons.
3.
So... Oh, there's 3.
Yeah, there's the first season, which is kind of a smattering of different episodes, some of which are like some of our favorites.
Mm-hmm.
2 is Cadmus, and then 3 is
that Question kind of his story arc?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
involved in Cadmus, and then 3 is
Okay,
also
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like a smattering of different stuff, and then the big finale and all of it. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're gonna get to this Little Piggy pretty soon, actually.
Amazing.
Pretty exciting. So, all right. Any other thoughts on this little holiday episode, or should we tackle our short list for the season?
Let's do the short list.
All right. So, in the traditional style, we're going to go through and I'm going to list every episode. I might have to do some quick synopses to remember which episodes they are, because some of these are very forgettable. And then we will say yay or nay and come up with our definitive list. So,
He's the true judge.
exactly. So, starting off with episodes 1 and 2, Twilight, the battle between Brainiac and Darkseid.
I don't remember really loving this one, but because it does introduce those two.
Well, it doesn't introduce those two. They've already existed.
Well, I mean, to each other,
Right.
which feels important for
I will
JLU.
say this, it will become canonically critical at the end of JLU.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I love these. I remember you weren't super hot on them, but I had a lot of fun with these two
Okay,
episodes.
we can keep them in then.
All right, great. So that's a yes on Twilight. Next up, we have the introduction of Amazo with Tabula Rasa.
Absolutely.
Hard yes.
Yes,
on that one.
All caps.
Yes. Great couple of episodes. All right, next up, we have Only a Dream with Dr. Destiny.
I said no.
I said no as well.
Yeah, because like the only plot point which you brought up at the time was Hawk Girl, Martian Manhunter not being able to read her mind.
Yeah, that's comes up again, but it's explained in a line, and you don't need a whole episode dedicated to it. I thought that episode was fine. It just doesn't stand out as a great.
Yeah.
In any sort of way. I don't think it's one that someone would have to sit down and watch. Which, per your insistence, we stick to the strictest possible rules on this. So
no filler.
All right. Next up, we have Maid of Honor.
That was the Savage story where he dates he's
the Kasnian princess. Yes. It's a hard one. It's neither super critical canonically nor excellent, but it's pretty decent. And I feel like it is necessary to set up that Savage is immortal before we get to Hereafter.
I forgot that we don't know he's immortal yet.
Yeah. And like, I think,
I mean, they hint at it in Savage Time because he looks the same from future to past,
but it's not, I will say this. I think there's enough good Wonder Woman stuff in here, and especially enough good Wonder Woman Batman stuff in here that's worth including.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
Yeah. I think especially that sequence where they have the dance at the ball at the very beginning and the callback to the very end. Like there's some sweet moments in the two of them. I think it's worth saying yes. It's kind of a soft yes, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay. All right. Very good. Next up,
you caught me in a good mood today.
Right. Next up, we have Hearts and Minds, which was the episode with Despero, the guy with the third eyeball in his forehead.
No.
Yeah, absolute no. I think this was our tied for our least favorite episode of this season. So that's a hard no on that one. Next up, we have A Better World, the Justice Lords episode.
Excuse me, of course.
Hell
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Not only does it set up an entire season of JLU, but it is one of the standouts of this entire series.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. Plus, those costumes.
They're good.
Better than the real ones.
Ooh, some of them.
Some of them are better than the real.
Yeah.
Some of them are better than the real ones. All right. Next up, Eclipsed with the Ophidian.
Oh, no. Fuck no. God, I hated that one.
The hands down worst episode of the entire season.
The series.
Probably the series. Yeah, there's nothing redeeming about that. Hard pass on that. All right. The Terror Beyond, which was the team up of Dr. Fate, Aquaman, and Solomon Grundy. How dare you? How dare you not immediately jump in with an emphatic yes?
I was going to say no.
It's a yes. I'm also going to play the canonically critical card because it's necessary for the
Grundy's
episode
death,
when Grundy returns. Also, come on, Bird Nose. Bird Nose. It's super sweet.
Yeah, but like...
It's Hawkgirl's only friend and he dies.
I know, but the Cthulhu part is so boring.
Yeah, but the rest of it is awesome.
It's fine.
Come on, Dr. Fate and Aquaman.
Yeah, but they don't do anything.
So? They're just cool. It's got Oded Fair as Dr. Fate.
It is canonically important because he does have to die to be resurrected
Exactly.
later.
And again, I point out to you, Oded Fair. He's a beautiful man and his voice is oral butter.
It's fine.
How dare you, sir?
But that's two you've now gotten. So I get to be strict on these last few.
Okay. Good luck with that.
I know they're all yeses.
So, yeah, because next up we have Secret Society.
Which one is this again?
Grodd.
Oh,
Grodd.
yeah, training exercise. Oh, that was what I wanted to bring up in the episode.
What?
Green Lantern using his ring to construct like snowball weapons is much better training for the team than the fucking dummies he had set up in that training ground.
I do agree with you on that.
That would have been a much more fun training exercise.
Yeah. But, I mean, would you keep this episode?
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence on this one. I mean, It's not canonically critical that I can think of. It was pretty damn fun though, wasn't it?
It is. You're right. It doesn't, because it should have bigger implications than it does.
Yeah, and I remember I even said at the time.
So I'll say no. I flipped.
You
No.
flip no. Yeah. 'Cause
Nay.
it reminds me of like third season BTOS, like taking a villain, in this case a team of villains, and doing something different with them. And I remember we had a lot of fun with it. But if we're trying to be a bit judicious in chopping this down, there are some excellent episodes, and I feel like this one's just pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say no on Secret
Nay.
Society. Okay, I feel like we might get comments on that, but I agree with our assessment. So no on Secret Society. Next up is Hereafter.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Of course.
it's two of the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
That's
Absolutely,
when Superman gets sent to the future.
exactly when he quote unquote dies and gets sent to the future.
Yes.
It's worth it just for Batman's denial.
Right. Because that's all that I remembered.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me for years.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's worth it for two things: Batman's denial and Vandal Savage going, "Do you want to come to my house?"
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
This is where I killed your best friend. Do you remember?
Yeah, want to come play hang out? All right, next up, Wild Cards. What?
I know.
What?
Yes.
Are you just super hung up on the fact that the Teen Titan voices didn't work as well as you had hoped?
I am.
Okay, you
I
gotta
absolutely am.
you got to get past that. Look, okay, I'm once again gonna play the canon card, Ace.
Yeah, that's why I said yes.
Yeah.
Is for epilogue.
Exactly.
But I mean, a lot of people don't count epilogue in itself.
When we get to it, I have many a thought on epilogue, but I will say that the Ace sequence in that is unimpeachable.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think it's worth including here. Plus, it's a Joker, man. It's hard to pass up a good Joker
Yeah,
episode,
and
especially a good Joker episode.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about it last week.
Yeah.
About just how good it is.
Yeah. And I will say that though I would say it's necessary because John and Hawkgirl finally get together. We'll get a reminder of that in the beginning of Starcross, but I think it's important to show them actually finally like being a couple here.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Comfort and Joy.
For being strict, we should say no.
But remember,
But-
our two criteria are: is it canonically critical or is it an excellent episode?
And it is an excellent episode.
I agree. I think it's an excellent episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it a yes.
I think it is by all means something you could skip, but especially if someone is watching it in order, our abbreviated order as we're putting together the short list, I think it's a nice episode to slot in between Wild Cards and Starcrossed.
Mhm.
So, all right.
As much of a fan as as much as a non-fan as I am of filler episodes before a finale.
This is true. But what was the episode in Avatar called?
The Ember Island Players.
Right. Just like that, filler episode, but
I hated it when it came out.
But
I now appreciate it for being one of the best.
it's a great episode.
It
It's
is.
a great episode. So just like that, we're going to include Comfort and Joy here. And then I suspect you can try to argue with me on this, but Starcross.
I have no argument
Yeah,
for
no, yeah.
or against.
I will just say this: we haven't gotten into it yet. We're doing the shortlist first because next week it's the finale. Plus, we're gonna have a very special guest, which is very exciting.
It's my mom.
Exactly. Welcome, Tene. But that's why we're doing the shortlist this week, since we had one episode. So yes, we are preemptively saying the Starcrossed has to be included. But as someone who has seen Starcrossed, I can verify it has to be included
Yeah, I guess so.
for both reasons.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's both canonically critical and an excellent episode. I think didn't it make it into the top 5 when we did the top 5 episodes of the DC?
I think we argued out of it.
We may have. I can't remember.
Just because I hadn't seen it, so I nullified it.
All I know is I'm still carrying the scars around of having Over the Edge kicked out of that
Mhm.
list. I will.
What was the one that I was fighting for?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I was also trying to fight for Monkey Fun. But
we both were booted off the list because of fans and because of the the DC review guys.
I mean, Cal and Liam know what they're doing way more than we do.
Yeah,
So
but we're better at distracting.
that's true. And we were trying to pack in the random distraction episodes. Always on brand. All right, but there you go. So our Justice League Season 2 shortlist is comprised of Twilight, Tabula Rasa, Maid of Honor, A Better World, The Terror Beyond, Hereafter, Wild Cards, Comfort and Joy, and Star-Crossed. Which
We got like a third of them out.
yeah, exactly. So we took out 1, 2, 3. So we got a quarter of them roughly.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is, as good as it gets for pre-JLU.
Yeah. I mean, this, like, the forgetful episodes of the season are made especially more forgetful by how good the episodes around them are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great season.
It is.
Oh, it's such a good season.
Yeah, if these were episodes that were like pitted up in the, Superman era,
Yeah.
they would all be yeses.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is just because the good are so good. They shine so bright.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we move on to that? From that to some bat plugs. What do you got this week, Cameron?
Yeah, I went back and watched a movie that I hadn't seen in years, and it's such a delight.
Okay.
And I rewatched Night at the Museum.
Oh, okay.
It's so charming.
Yeah.
And so warm, and it's that era of like educational mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Of like that, those came out around the same time as National Treasures.
Yeah.
And just like, I want museums to have like a bigger part in movies now.
Mm-hmm.
And and also like Da Vinci Code was around this time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, great rewatch. It's on Hulu right now.
It is super cute.
Yeah.
I remember at least the second one also being pretty good.
I don't think I ever saw the third one. But yeah, the second one where they go to the Smithsonian.
Yeah. That one's also great because it has Hank Azaria as that really self-pompous Egyptian king who just like shoots down Darth Vader in the most spectacular way possible.
And I forgot that the pharaoh in the first one is Rami Malek.
Yes,
a very young Rami Malek.
Very young Rami Malek.
He's a child.
Oh God, but he's still so pretty.
He is. And then I finished it last week. I still want to give it a rewatch to like get my feelings settled for it. But I watched Raya.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
I did too.
Yeah, the latest Disney Pixar. No, just Disney.
Yeah.
The princess film. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
And, I love my princesses. They are my girls.
Your princesses?
I went there and then I backtracked princesses.
Princesses.
Yes.
Yes.
The princessai.
Mm-hmm.
It's just okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I want to go back because the world is so much fun. The world I wish they would explore more.
Yeah. It is a really interesting world. I think they were burdened by having to pack in so much mythology and history into a movie.
Yes.
Like it has both a like a prologue and then like an extended intro sequence as well.
Mm-hmm. And Disney is getting very, very good. And you see like the team that was behind this movie, they also worked on Zootopia and on Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
And so like it's the team that knows how to make engaging environments.
Yeah.
Like those two especially, like I'm so excited to live in Zootopia's world when we get that show coming out.
Right. I think those other two movies though have the advantage of being there's a lot of visual world building that goes on in there. Like Zootopia is basically our world, but everything's done in animals. And so
they're both modern.
Exactly. And and also with Big Hero 6, again, it's like a pocket version of our universe, with like San Francisco and stuff. But it's you can just get from the look of it what makes this universe different. Whereas there's so much legend and mythology you have to pack in. It does, I think, drag a little as a result sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. The compliment that I give it is I want this as a video game.
Ooh, yeah.
I think this would be so much fun to play in.
That is a very good point. It would be a really fun game.
Because it's a fetch quest. The movie is a fetch quest.
Yeah, essentially.
And the best review, and I think the most accurate review, is it's not quite as good as Moana, but it's as close to Disney's Avatar as we're ever going to get.
I think that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. It's fun. The voice cast is great. Kelly Marie Tran's fantastic.
Yes.
And Disney owed her.
Yes, they did.
Big time. But the rest of the cast is also really fantastic. And there are some elements that initially seemed silly. I'll only say the phrase "con baby," and for those of you who've seen it, you'll know what I'm referring to.
Con baby is wonderful.
I was very skeptical about Con baby initially. I warmed up to it very quickly, and then I came to love Con baby.
Yes.
But yeah, I liked this quite a bit. Now, I think the most important question people want to know is it worth spending $30 to watch?
No, you can wait.
I agree. Yeah. It's not, It's fine if you have kids and you
It's a
don't.
great kids movie.
It is a really nice kids movie. Yeah, I think if you have kids and you're looking for something new, it will keep them entertained. It's fun and light and frothy and entertaining. But yeah, I mean, if you're, I was about to call us discerning adult viewers, but that might be a bit generous.
Childish millennials
Exactly.
is how we're referred to in the Disney terms.
Yes, if you are an adult viewer and you have a greater selection of things at your disposal, it may not be worth your money. Time, yes. Money, maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm excited for from this is, one, seeing these characters in the park whenever it reopens.
Yes.
It'll be very fun. If they can get like a really good tuk-tuk, which is the like armadillo bug thing.
Yeah.
Like that, if they could figure something out with that to be in the park, that would be adorable. Obviously, seeing Raya in the park is gonna be great.
The live action Rayas are gonna be so cool. Like
Yeah.
she is a really cool character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's kind of a fuse of Moana and Mulan,
Yeah, that's
which
fair.
makes
Yeah.
sense because she is like Pacific Asian.
Yeah, exactly. Southeast Asian.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm also excited for whenever we're gonna get her in a future Kingdom Hearts game in 20 years.
Oh, fair point.
Yeah.
You'll get your video game version of it. Yeah.
But yeah, what have you been watching, reading, listening?
I started watching the Netflix version of Carmen Sandiego.
Oh,
The Netflix animated
I
series.
heard it has a great theme song.
It does have a good theme song. Yeah, I never watched the original. I obviously knew what it was because it existed when I was a kid. I really like this version actually. So it's Gina Rodriguez, the voice of Carmen, and then her primary cohort is a guy named Player, played by Finn Wolfhard of Stranger Things fame.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I think the pilot especially sets it up to be like this kind of fun, tongue-in-cheek, slightly meta take on the whole thing. It felt reminiscent of DuckTales for me in the pilot. Not on the same level. It's very hard to be on the DuckTales level, but reminiscent of that. As I've gotten through the rest of the first season, started season 2, I don't think it necessarily maintains that level of sophistication and wit. That being said, it is super fun to watch. It's like, it's got a fun cast of characters. It's got some good mythology. The first 2 episodes are kind of setting up how Carmen Sandiego becomes Carmen Sandiego. And the whole,
I love a good origin story.
and it's a good origin story. And, her whole thing is that she's kind of like a modern day Robin Hood. She's out there stealing to like benefit other people and to donate to charities. And she's only stealing from like bad folks and stuff like that. So yeah, it's got a nice message. It's still a kid's cartoon. They pack in little bits of education. So, if they're heading off to a location, they'll do like a 30-second little, bit about some of the key things about that area. Like they'll talk a little bit about Australia in the Australia episode and stuff like that. But it's a lot of fun. It's a nice kind of pleasant distraction to throw on in the background.
Great.
So, yeah.
I had a weird relationship with Carmen Sandiego growing up.
Cameron, you're the only person I know that could say that sentence.
Yes. So I remember as a kid, my mom was really big into like math computer games.
Okay.
And educational computer games.
Yeah. Like Math Blasters, is that one of them?
We probably had that one.
I think that was a name. That sounds familiar.
But I remember we had a Carmen Sandiego education game.
Okay.
And so when I saw that Carmen Sandiego was the first thing on the Saturday morning lineup, it was the 6:30 slot. So before like the modern cartoons, I refused to watch it because I thought it was an educational show. And so I had this like scorn towards her because I think I was probably bad at the game.
Okay.
Because I think I was probably in 1st or 2nd grade and she was like a 4th or 5th grade game.
Okay.
And so I just couldn't do it because I wasn't smart enough yet.
Okay.
And so I remember just hating her. And anytime someone brought her up in conversation, I'm like, ugh, Carmen Sandiego. Like, she's horrible. I hate her. And now, like, looking back and realizing, like, oh, it's not an educational. I mean, it's kind of an educational show.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. In the same way, almost in the same way as Magic School Bus, but a little less.
It's not as overt. At least the new version. I haven't seen the original, but the new version is not quite as overt. But
yeah. But yeah, now I want to go back and, like, see what I missed from the 6:30 slot.
My God. That story is very you. It's very, very you.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. All right. Well, I think it takes care of plugs. So why don't we do a quick question corner and then wrap things up?
Yeah, we have a fast one. You pitched this one to me
I
last week.
did actually. Yeah. So I was recently rewatching one of my favorite movies of all time.
Casino Royale.
Exactly. 2006's Casino Royale. And I got to the end of it. I'm like, this is a perfect movie. There's not a single thing I would change about this, which then gave me the thought of what other perfect movies are out there. So I have a few, but Cameron, what are some? And again, our definition is a movie
I
where you
know.
wouldn't change anything. And I'm being specific on this because I know what one of your answers would be.
Yes.
And
It
based
would have been
on
Speed
our
Racer.
criteria, it cannot be included. Yes. Explain
Yes.
why Speed Racer cannot be included.
Because Spritle ruins the movie.
Yes.
I rewatched it within the past month.
Okay.
And I will say there's only like 3 scenes that we need to cut him out of.
Yes.
So
but-
I will make the Spritle cut one of these days.
Exactly. Honestly, that is literally it. It needs what? Maybe 5 to 7 minutes?
5 minutes of cutting.
Of scrubbing. And otherwise, I 100% agree with you. That is a perfect film. Also, one of Michael Giacchino's best scores.
Yes.
And that is saying something.
It's so good.
It is amazing.
Okay, so instead of Speed Racer, until the Spritle cut exists, and I Googled, I searched to see if someone has made a Spritle cut yet, and it does not exist.
We'll make it happen.
I have 4 that I could think of off the top of my head. 3
Okay.
I've mentioned many a time before. The 4th one I think will be a bit of a surprise. For
Okay,
you.
all right.
Roger Rabbit.
Yep.
Of course.
Agreed.
Absolutely perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
Rewatched it this week. And
Okay.
it's so good.
It is. It is a perfect film.
You know what? I'm gonna take this one off. I'm gonna remove Scott Pilgrim
Why?
because the comic is so much better.
Okay.
I don't think the movie is the movie for its story is perfect, but
Yeah.
for Scott Pilgrim is not perfect because the comic is better.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, yeah, you're the Scott Pilgrim fan of the two of us. So if you say it can't be included, I will take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the next one off because we don't need to talk about that one.
Well, then now I'm just curious.
Oh, The Prestige.
Ooh, that is not my favorite Nolan film.
I think it's my favorite Nolan film.
It's one of those weird things where I think I just can't swap out Batman Begins.
Yeah,
I can't. But I think that's his best film.
that was because I also had like the luxury of going in blind into that movie.
Okay,
having never
yeah.
seen a trailer for it,
Yeah.
not knowing what was going on, and then rewatching it and understanding it, and like that's such a beautiful moment.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you on that one about that being a perfect film. I don't think there is anything I would change on it.
Yeah, per the question, yes, I wouldn't change anything about The Prestige.
It's also a rare film when you know the twist, it's still super captivating to watch it because you're still trying to then like piece together how it works.
Right.
In the details, it works in the broad strokes, but the details you're trying to see where it all comes together. And it's so good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the last one I just rewatched again this week. I had a lot of movies this week. How to Train Your Dragon.
Fair.
Is a perfect film.
I agree with you. Would we even go so far as to say the first 2?
Probably.
I think the third one's fine. I think it's fine. But
Where they become Power Rangers, but with dinosaurs
yeah,
or with dragons.
Yeah, those first 2 are excellent.
Yes. And who is it? Sideways. One of the YouTube channels does a beautiful review of the score of How to Train Your
okay,
Dragon.
yeah. I haven't gotten yet to the Art of the Score podcast episode on that, but you've mentioned that video before.
Yes, and how the songs all perfectly intertwine together.
Yeah, it's a great John Powell score. Those are really good movies. I mean, those movies get me in like really strong emotionally.
Yeah,
too. Oh, they're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, the moment when
Hiccup, Toothless.
No, the king, Gerard Butler's character.
Oh,
Stoic.
Stoic, yes.
Yeah, when Stoic reunites with his wife.
Oh God, yeah.
Just the fact, like, and again, it's kind of a spoiler, but the movie's been out for fucking forever. It was in the goddamn trailer.
Yeah.
Like when he reunites with her and he's not mad and he's just like immediately in love with her and gets so happy to see her. It's like,
I know, true love.
I just can't.
I mean, for me, I just thinking about the song, I'm getting goosebumps already.
It's good.
Of his first flight, Hiccup and Toothless' first flight together, and they hit when they finally like get through, like they smooth out, and the music just like erupts behind them. It's just like, oh, like literally, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Cameron,
it's so good.
I'm very impressed with your list. I will admit, part of me was kind of looking forward to having to debate you on some of these
Pokemon
things.
The first movie.
Yeah, not even gonna touch that.
You're right. 2000 is better.
But that is. I agree with all those. I would consider those all perfect films as well. That's a
and I'm
very
sure
good
there's
list.
a lot more, but those are just the ones that immediately came to mind.
Yeah.
Can I guess some of yours?
Please, by all means.
Casino Royale, obviously.
Yes. So no, it's funny. I just rewatched that. I still will not change a goddamn thing. I will say, however, now that I work in post production, working in post has ruined some things for me, particularly when you can tell that they're doing like rear screen projection or like CGI background replacement. I can see it now and I couldn't before. And there are some shots that I'm like, yeah, this is on a set, but I'm okay with it because it's so fucking good.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess Clue.
Yes. I mean, I don't even have to get into it. Clue is the most perfectly structured comedy film of all time and one of the most quotable of all time. Literally at me, I will fight you. I will come find you and I'll beat you with a candlestick.
I'm gonna guess there's one more James Bond on there.
No.
There's not. Okay.
No. I love On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I really, really love it.
Is that the Lazenby one?
It's the Lazenby one. Okay. I actually think he's good in that movie. I think the sincere moments, I have a hard time believing Sean Connery could pull those off. Not because he's not a good actor, he's a great actor, but because by that point, he did not give two fucks about James Bond. He would not have tried and put in the emotional pieces there. That, and then there's definitely some extremely culturally insensitive things in there that one would want to excise. So I can't count that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, same with a lot of the other early Bond films. So no, and I love Skyfall, but it does suffer from the Dark Knight, the villain wanted to be captured on purpose thing, and that does irk me every single time.
Got it.
So yeah.
Okay, what is the rest of your list?
My favorite film of all time, Casablanca.
Right, of course.
Wouldn't change a goddamn thing. It is so fucking beautiful.
Make it a little snappier.
How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? The pace
go from like a 2:30 to like a 2:10.
It's not even 2:30.
How long is it?
It's like
I thought it was pretty long.
It's like somewhere around 2 hours. It's not that long.
Okay.
Yeah. Girl, please. God, just La Marseille. That's all I have to say. La Marseille. It's so good. I mean, those are three of the big ones for me. So one I want to propose as a question: can we count any Star Wars films? Because I feel like the challenge with things that are sequelized or franchise is they have to live in the same universe as other films. Like, because I think Star Wars, the original Star Wars, is pretty much near perfect, as is Empire. But can you count Empire knowing that you really kind of have to watch Return of the Jedi to get the full story and knowing that the Ewoks suck?
Because it's a TV movie, I think the closest we'll get is the Clone Wars finale. That is as close to perfect as I would consider Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I just don't know if you can count any of the movies.
I would say no.
Yeah. I would also throw on my list the WALL-E and the Incredibles. The first Incredibles.
Oh, yes. Agreed to both of those.
Again, wouldn't change it. I mean, look, and the thing is, there are so many answers to this question up. I mean, I love that movie. Not one of my like all-time favorites, the way that WALL-E or The Incredibles is. But again, there's not a single frame that you would change in that film.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I feel like there's a lot out there. And this one, I would really love to hear people's answers to this. Yeah, what's a perfect film? What is a film that you would not change a single thing about? Oh,
of course, the movie we'd bring up more than anything.
Oh my god! For a second there, we almost slipped away from our status as the patron saint podcast of Booksmart.
Yeah.
But you're right, Booksmart too wouldn't change a goddamn thing.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
It's a fucking masterpiece.
So good.
It's so good. Yeah, but yeah, write in and let us know at TimmTalkPod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail. What is a perfect film to you?
Yes.
And then just real quick, note from friend. My apologies. We may have had more, and they slipped my mind. We had a slightly weird scheduling with this week's episode, but it's actually a question for you, Cameron. Yeah, so this is from our friend Solomon Satani, who loves to write in with some lovely messages and questions on YouTube. And he said, I recently checked out Cameron's Instagram and saw some of his boxing videos. He's pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
He says, I also hit pads for cardio. I love boxing and martial arts in general. Been training for years. I have a question for Cameron. I've heard you talk about boxing and Brazilian jiu-jitsu before, so I was wondering, do you watch boxing or MMA? And if so, who are your favorite boxers or MMA fighters?
I'm not super into MMA.
Okay.
I'll watch a few clips,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't follow any specific person.
Okay.
I mean, as I've mentioned many a time on the podcast, what got me into boxing was anime.
Of
An
course.
anime called Hajime no Ippo, but they're based off of real boxers in the
Yeah.
show. So like from the show, I learned about like the '80s powerhouses. So your Durand and Leonard and Thomas and all the people that like predated Tyson.
Yeah.
For like modern boxers, Lomachenko, he's lightweight, welterweight. He's one of the lower weights.
Okay.
He has this crazy story. He knew he wanted to be a boxer basically since he was born. Since he was 3, he started boxing.
Yeah.
But when he was 5, his dad took him out of boxing for 4 years and put him in ballet class to work on his footwork. So he has the best footwork of any boxer that's basically ever existed.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. And it was like a very specific kind of like, it's almost like the Russian ballet. It's like
Okay.
super, super strong legs.
Yeah.
And then once he was 13, brought him back into boxing. And he went like, he has one of the best amateur records of all time. He won like 300 something fights before tying one. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
And now watching his few professional fights, they're unbelievable. And then a fighter I've actually met before, Ryan Garcia, also in the same weight class. He's a newer face. He's only like 20 or 21, but he is kind of the exact opposite. He's just like a really big, heavy hitter for his weight class, but has no footwork at all.
Oh, no.
But he's big on social media. And so he has videos of him like beating up other, like Jake Paul. He has a video of him beating up Jake Paul.
Well, that's something the whole world needs to see.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And he was like the trainer for a lot of these YouTube fights as well.
Okay. Yeah.
He's pretty fun to watch, and he's just a fun character.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that's pretty much all the big ones that I follow.
Okay. But good answers. I'm gonna be honest. When I asked the question, I wasn't sure if you actually have answers for it or not. I was potentially putting you on the spot to be like, no.
No, yeah, there's a handful.
Yeah.
But watch Hajime no Ippo because it's great.
Why don't you say it a little bit slower? So
Hajime no Ippo. HAJIME space NO space IPPO.
Okay, you were dipping into your Green Lantern Oath territory there of like wanting to say something super fast.
Yes. Also, the English translation is Champions Road.
Champions Road. Okay, nice.
But no one refers to it as that.
Okay, it's
Hajime. No. Ippo.
Hajime no Ippo.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun to say.
It is. That's why I say it fast.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. Rolls off the tongue. But no, thanks Solomon for writing in with the question.
Yeah.
Which, I feel like Cameron actually answered to your satisfaction.
I don't get to talk sports very often.
I know. I mean, why would we?
Exactly.
So, but thank you for listening, everyone. Hopefully you also enjoyed listening to us talk about Comfort and Joy. Hopefully you actually watched Comfort and Joy too.
It's
really good.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Watch this episode.
You know, honestly, in these times, it was a lovely little breath of fresh air.
It really was. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas in March. Well worth a watch. And if you haven't seen some of the perfect films we recommended, all of them obviously high recommendations. And actually, you know what? I'm going to be generous here, and I'm going to say, if of all of them, go watch Roger Rabbit.
Please do.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, it holds for you the same space like Casablanca holds for me. But I will say that Roger Rabbit, I think, is a little bit more accessible to people.
Yeah, it's just modern.
Yeah, it's modern. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's got Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, and it's the best of what it does.
Yes, absolutely. And what it does is be great.
Yeah.
Yes. So go check those out. And, we would really love to hear people's thoughts. What are some of your perfect films? Also, what are some of your favorite holiday episodes? I think we asked that earlier on.
Yeah, sure.
At some point.
Yeah, we got a couple questions this week.
Yeah, write in and...
present. What was your favorite unexpected Christmas present?
Favorite unexpected Christmas present,
given
or received. Yes, so some fun questions there. Would love to hear people's answers to those. But thank you for listening. Like I said, we are Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail. Best place to reach us would be Twitter or Instagram. You can also find us on YouTube on our own channel, and you can find us on the Pod Tower, where we've teamed up with the Watchtower Database and the DCAU Review to be your one-stop YouTube shop for all things DC Animated Universe.
Yes.
You can check out our podcast and, let's be honest,
the better ones
there as well. And you can find me at Lordifer on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, if you want to see my art, you can find that at Cameron.Dexter. And if you want to see my face or my amateur boxing
Yeah.
skills, you can find that at CamDexter_Adventures.
Boom, boom, boom. Well, thanks, everybody. We will be back next week with the 3-part Justice League series
I have low hopes.
finale, star-crossed with a very special guest. I won't give away the surprise, but someone who is long overdue for an appearance on the show, and very, very excited to have him join us. So stay tuned for that next week. So that's it. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Bum, 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 bum.
Bye-bye.